Welcome to the Transform Sales Podcast, where forward-thinking business leaders come to share their experiences and ideas, learn from each other, and amplify their results together.
All right, welcome to another episode of the Transform Sales Podcast. We're specifically looking at the sales software review series, and I'm here today with Dashan, CEO and co-founder from Hublead. Dashan, how are you doing today?
Great. Thanks for having me inside this podcast and YouTube video. I'm really glad to be here and present our software.
All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the first question. What is the name of the software product you want to share with us today?
Yeah, so the product is Hublead.io. This is a product we built like 1 year ago, 1 year and a half with my co-founder and CTO, Julian. And basically, it's integrating LinkedIn with HubSpot, LinkedIn and LinkedIn Sales Navigator also.
Perfect. And, that sounds very promising, very interesting. We were just discussing before the cameras started rolling that in my days as an SDR working sales using the CRM, I did miss a lot the possibility of saving every interaction that happens on LinkedIn. You typically, when you're running campaigns, you get to track your calls, you get to track your emails, but I haven't seen an integration or an easy way to track all your LinkedIn activities. You typically have to save those on a note. So that's something that I'm very interested in learning more about. Let me jump into the second question, which is, who is the ideal customer for this software product?
Yeah, basically, so as we said, like the product is for HubSpot users first. And it's really about outbound inside LinkedIn. So you can, for example, import contacts. This is a basic feature, import conversation, and also import LinkedIn connection, send, request sent or accepted, for example. So it's more for people using HubSpot for the outbound. Like we all know that HubSpot was created for the inbound process with the native marketing hub from the beginning. But it's missing this outbound feature, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to add this missed lead gen hub inside HubSpot. So basically, we have two plans for two ICPs. One plan, the professional one, is more for solopreneurs, small entrepreneurs, small size team that just want to remove the manual work from importing people, just want to have that button to click on it and import conversation and contacts, and also find emails to outreach. And for the business plans, it's more like, okay, now you have a team of 3, 4, 5 salespeople at the minimum, and now you want to scale your outbound on LinkedIn. You want to measure, you want to better understand what you're doing on LinkedIn and who is the best performer inside your team also. And this is a business plan where you can import a LinkedIn connection. You can see your conversion rate, invitation sent, accepted, message sent, message replied, for example. You can have unlimited emails, phone numbers, and some other features that will help you to really scale your outbound on LinkedIn.
So if they have a larger team, right, that's where it seems like the business plan may be a better fit. And also the additional features in reporting sounds like that's where they may go with the second plan as opposed to the first one as almost like a one-man show, trying to start to track those activities.
Yeah, that's right. It's more like people have different needs at different stages. So we want to make that plan according to that stages. You have a free plan. For now, it's a bit limited because you cannot import contacts or import conversation. You can just view HubSpot data inside LinkedIn and you can modify it also. Later, I think we will do better features in the freemium plan. But right now, we are still focusing on new features for the business plan to make it more valuable for HubSpot customers. So we're focusing first on our customers and later on the free plan for everyone to have a glance of our product for free.
Excellent. Now, I think that for my next question, you pretty much answered the vast majority of it, but I still want to cover it. what does your software help users do that they couldn't do before your software existed? So we've talked about how HubSpot didn't have this feature natively. But if you want to run us a high-level description again, what is it the main value that they get when they use Hublead.io?
Yes, so the main value comes from because I worked like for 5 years in the growth marketing. So the tech guy inside the marketing team, plugging every tools with the CRM. And I was very frustrated whenever I saw native integration with another tool. So the first thing we wanted to do is we want to do only one integration on one CRM, HubSpot, and we want it to be better than everyone. So other softwares can, like, for example, import contacts or conversation, but in different way. You cannot have a timeline event, for example, that you can exploit in your reports or workflows. So we have deeper integration inside HubSpot with data also on CRM cards to make it more. You can like transform your HubSpot view with LinkedIn, for example, thanks to us. So that's one of the main points we wanted to make a difference. And the second, since we don't integrate a lot of CRMs, if we want to grow, we need to chase the pain points. We need to be better at solving the real pain points. And as you see, and I know also, the main pain point right now is I want more meeting from LinkedIn, but I want to measure the activity and to understand, okay, are my efforts compensated? Is it working or not? And we are trying to deep dive inside this pain point that other tools, for example, like ZoomInfo or some other tools don't have.
You're not providing that yet. That's right. So that takes me to my next question, which is how should users measure the success of this software product? So we know that they're using LinkedIn, right? And they want to have a way to measure the performance, the activities on LinkedIn. By default, you can see how your calls are doing and how your emails are doing, open rates, click-through rates, etc. What would be the KPIs or the, again, success criteria that you recommend your clients use to measure the success of Hublead.io?
Yes, so I prefer to look for the input for my clients. So, for example, how many people did you contact inside LinkedIn before us and after us? Because if you know you're targeting your ICP and you're sending follow-ups, new message on LinkedIn, new invitation, normally you should get more demo at the end of the month. So I would say, how many invitations did you send per sales per week, for example? Because we all know, like, we have a limitation of 100 invitations sent per week per people. So you need to reach that on a weekly basis. So I would say this KPI. And of course, since we can measure the conversion rate between, for example, if you sent 100 invitation last week, how many meetings did you have or how many replies did you get? You can see that conversion on the last 7 days, 30 days, 90 days. So you can compare your conversion rate right now with the conversion rate before. So people will see like, okay, this tool help us to better understand and to measure. The fact that we can measure the activity on LinkedIn is kind of a success at first because before you cannot measure. So so that's how, I think we can measure the success of Hublead.
Fantastic. Simply having the visibility is going to be a big impact. And then if you have the visibility and the better visibility gives you a push, an improvement in your numbers, then by all means, it should be working. Now, if you would like to please share your screen and walk us through a demo of the software, give us maybe a walkthrough of the dashboard, an example on how someone would integrate the tool in the type of reports or KPIs or dashboards that they have access to, please.
Yeah, of course. So let me show you my screen. So for example, so I will show you on Sales Navigator, but it also works on LinkedIn. You will have the same experience if you go on LinkedIn. You have this widget. This is a Chrome extension. You need to download. You connect to your HubSpot, and then everything is set up. And if you go to a contact, we are trying to search, okay, this contact, is he in your HubSpot or not? So basically we use, for example, and I can open your HubSpot contact. We will use the first name, last name, company name, or company domain. But we also use the LinkedIn URL over there. So if you have already a LinkedIn URL, you can use your own. And for example, let's say we know that Ryan is in my HubSpot. I can search for any Ryan in my HubSpot. I can search for any Ryan Wright in my HubSpot, or people attached to that company. So for example, I can see I already have someone at Clear Pivots. It's not Ryan, so I can create a new contact. And when you create a new contact, it will import it will import the most important information, such as first name, last name, job title. If we find an email on LinkedIn, it will be free. You have associated to the right company also. And of course, you have the city, country, and that's all, and industry, and the company.
So this connects, the extension connects with the HubSpot instance, and it can bring forward information that they have already pre-populated in the fields. Can it also populate some fields in the CRM?
So do you mean you can, for example, change the list status or custom properties from LinkedIn to HubSpot?
Correct.
Yeah. So for example, here you see you have additional properties. So I can change the list status, and it will change the list status inside HubSpot also. But you can have also any other custom properties you want displayed on LinkedIn. So here you see approaching has been changed by Hublead. But I can add, for example, here I have the Hublead user. I can add the Hub ID if I want to know the Hub ID of my customer, if I want to do some support, or I can do, you can display the country region if you want, save, and you can display it and modify it over there and save. I can see, for example, if you are a user of my app application and so on. And if you go to someone, for example, because I said that we check for the LinkedIn URL, but also we check for the first name, last name, company name, domain. You can go on someone you already imported before with HubSpot, inside HubSpot, sorry, and we recognize them, and you can click on refresh, and it will re-import the data from LinkedIn to your current contact. So
that's fantastic. I can see salespeople using this when prospecting, right? To update their leads, the job title of a lead, make sure that the info that they're looking at LinkedIn is synced with a different field that they have mapped out in the CRM. But I can also see a use case for recruiters. I've seen that those tend to be another niche in LinkedIn, right? When they're sourcing for different candidates, they might have specific criteria or requirements from their clients as to the type of talent they need to source. And these fields, the way they can navigate and communicate back and forth with the CRM, again, provided that they're using HubSpot for managing
we got some, I totally agree, because we got some. I get some people asking me, do you integrate LinkedIn Recruiter? So right now we don't. We plan to do that end of the year. We're working with several clients to do that because the needs is very different, because you need to import also the schools, previous experience, professional and education. Maybe some are going really deeper inside HubSpot with custom objects, something like that. So we are touching base with them. We're checking what we can do, but for sure, like we have some recruiters working with just Sales Navigator because they're more interested for selling to companies the profiles they sourced. So we got some of recruiters like that. And also, like if you go back to HubSpot, you can see that we have these two CRM cards, where we have, for example, the enrichment CRM card. So if I go to Ryan and let's say, for example, this email didn't work, or I want a phone number, I can click on the enrich button, and we will use different data provider on our own. And you can see which emails we found and which phone numbers we found. So let's say, for example, I select this one, and I will select this one, confirm. If I go back to Ryan, you will have the phone number updated. Let me show you here. You have the phone number updated, but you have also all the information we found on the contact thanks to our data provider. And what kind of data provider we use? We use Hunter.io, Apollo.io, and Rocket.Reach. I think we will add more later, but right now we use these three. So you have access to different data provider to maximize the chance to have the right email and also the right phone number if you're doing cold calling. And also you store this information. You don't lose this information. It's in your CRM on the contact. So you can, like, for example, try this phone number and then try this one, then try this one and try this one. And from the LinkedIn view, you can relink from them, but I already showed you. We also log, for example, the invitation events, but I will show you just right after. I will show you for the messaging parts. For example, if I go on this contact, you see I have a loading bar over there, and it will search like, okay, this contact, does he exist? Did we import the conversation? And if it didn't import, it will update the conversation. And so here you can see, for example, I can filter, remove that, have the LinkedIn, and here we have the whole conversation. Here you can see I have the invitation has been accepted also. And if I go to integration Hublead, we can see that we have also timeline event of LinkedIn message sent, sorry. So you can create some lists, you can create some reports if you want to see how many messages you sent, how many messages replied. If you want to see who you sent an invitation but they didn't accept, you can identify them inside a list. For example, if I go to workflow CRM list and I want, for example, here, you can have a list of people who accepted your LinkedIn request but did not receive a message. And here you have the information.
This is great. And that was going to be my next question. If there was some sort of like reporting feature separate from HubSpot in order to see the activity, but it seems like since everything is fed back into HubSpot with the custom fields, with the custom properties, etc., all the reporting is done within HubSpot using HubSpot, again, calling the different properties, building the reports however you want it, and therefore you can set up a report to see the amount of activities, messages, etc. Interesting.
Yeah, so basically you can do a bunch of reports inside HubSpot, such as like how many contacts we created with Hublead, a number of conversations per week per sales, because this is the LinkedIn activity. So you can have also, you said at the beginning of the video, if you want to measure also calls and email inside the same report, you can have it over there. And you can see also, since we have timeline events, you can update some properties inside your contact to see how many LinkedIn invitations you sent, accepted, or still pending, for example. But you have some limitation with HubSpot, is that you cannot create a funnel report. You can create funnel reports, but it's only for lifecycle stage property. And here we did it for the outbound funnel on LinkedIn. So for example, I can see that I sent 154 invitation. I got this amount of accepted, number of message sent, and number of contact replied. And what we want to implement, for example, it would be like, okay, I want the list of people who accepted my invitation, but I didn't send a message. You can have it as a list on HubSpot, or maybe more automatically later to create a static list from the report. So you have it on your HubSpot too, but you don't have to configure the list on your own.
Perfect. And since you have these properties, I'm guessing on HubSpot, you can also set up automation to create tasks, create reminders, maybe enroll them on nurturing campaigns based on the status of these properties. Is that correct?
Yeah. You can do that. So, for example, what I did is maybe on connection. Yeah. Here I have a workflow. Whenever someone is added to this list, I can set, for example, the request accepted date. I can also do a Slack notification. If I want, I can create a new task like, hey, this guy accepted your invitation. Or if you want, for example, you can check for people who replied to your message and you want to do follow-up. So you can set like in 7 days, check if you booked a meeting with them or something like that. We're trying to really like enter in this feed inside HubSpot to keep your sales, or you, if you're doing the sales on LinkedIn, really organized inside LinkedIn, thanks to HubSpot.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Well, I can definitely see a very big use case as long as they prospect or whoever's in the audience. If you are using LinkedIn as a channel to prospect, then it's important for you to measure the activity, track it, see what's working and what's not. Then definitely Hublead is going to be the option that will show you that in your dashboard. You'll be able to create customized reports within the CRM, everything in one place, but be able to have the visibility of what's working and what's not, and be able to manage. You cannot manage what you cannot see. You cannot measure what you cannot see, right? Excellent. Bastian, anything else you would like to share with the audience?
No. So right now we're working on, of course, synchronizing leads list from Sales Navigator automatically to HubSpot. Still in beta right now, so I cannot show you, but something we're working on. And right now, I don't think I have more to add. I think I showed you everything we do right now.
More and better features in the pipeline. I love it, and it's already working. Well, there you have it. If you are looking for a tool to connect your LinkedIn activities and be able to see them in HubSpot, definitely go check Hublead.io in the CloudTask marketplace. We will be there to assist you, and Bastian's team will be there ready to onboard you as well. Bastian, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. I'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, thanks for your time. Bye, Eddie. It was a pleasure too.
Awesome. Bye-bye.